Okay, so what is this assignment? So if you open this file, scheduling project, can you see this?
Yes.
So I have given you one project. You are scheduling a project. It is a 2-story concrete office building with an area of about 370 square meters per floor. The first floor has a slab on grade. The second floor is made of a cast in place concrete slab. They're carried by both concrete columns and concrete masonry units. So the roof is made of wood truss topped with sheathing and asphalt shingles. The schedule logic includes many simplifying assumptions. So this is some introduction about the type of the project which you will be scheduling. There are some general guidelines. So this is a group project. So you should work within your respective groups. Okay, so the groups which you have made for your first assignment, you may keep those groups for your work. Next is your work will be done mainly on the computer, of course, because this is the purpose over here. And you will be some written parts may be required. Make sure that your reports are marked clearly with your name, date, and reports name, the page number, and so forth. So if you make any assumptions, you can also write those assumptions. So the recommended software is Oracle Primavera P6. So you will use this software. Okay. Oracle Primavera P6.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is it free, this software?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
And later on, I will tell you how to get this software. Okay. Alternatively, you may use Microsoft Project, but if you will do so, remember that the combination relationships will not work. But I think I will highly recommend you use this software, okay? Because this is a very useful software and quite a leading, one of the leading software. The project is composed of no more than 60 activities, okay? So later on, you will be given the list of activities. So you will see that there are about 60 or less activities. So the tasks pertain to topics covered in this course. So you will be asked to perform certain tasks. So all these tasks have been covered in the course or in your assignment as well. Okay. So nothing is given which is not covered. So for this project, maybe you can put the start date of the project as 2nd of August 2021, and you will not put any finish date. Okay, so you will leave the finish date open in the software. So in all calendars, enter the known work days according to the calendar of the country. So for example, if you are designing this project, so you will use the project of you will use the calendar of that country. So if you can, for that purpose, maybe most of you will prefer that Kazakhstan will be the country. So you will use the Kazakhstan's calendar. So in that Kazakhstan's calendar, whatever the holidays are, then you will use. So normally you will schedule the work for 5 days a week, from Monday to Friday. And if there are, whereas Saturday and Sunday will be the holidays, weekly holidays. In addition, there will be other holidays, such as maybe I think in Kazakhstan now there are not too many. Only in December there will be some holidays, and there are some holidays in January or maybe in March. So you will input those holidays into the calendar over here. So you will, of course, you will learn how to do it. So this in this project, the general contractor will be doing mainly the structural work using his or her own workforce. But in addition, the general contractor will use the following subcontractors for the other work. So that means this project will not only be the work of one contractor, but it will be the work of several subcontractors as well. So for examples, for AC and heating, there will be subcontractor. For the installation of drywall, stucco, and paint, there will be another subcontractor. For site work and landscaping, there will be another subcontractor. Similarly, there will be subcontractors for masonry work, wood framing work, plumbing work, roofing work, flooring work, doors and windows, and electrical. So the general contractor will only be performing the structural work. All the other works will be performed by different subcontractors. So you will see that how you can add this information into the software. Okay. This type of information will be, if we will add into the software, will be useful for the organization of the work. That means how you can show the work in an organized manner. From the perspective of the work breakdown structure, you can divide this work in 4 different areas. So all is for all of the project. That means that type of thing will apply for the whole project. First is for the first floor activities. So those activities will be only related with the first floors. So for example, some of the activities will be on the first floor, but for example, painting may be included in the first floor as well as second floor as well. So in those situations, we will use all. So for all, what that one. And for second floor activities is another area, third area, and the last area is the roof. So area, so we can divide this work based on the responsibility of the work, and we divide on the area of the work. So there are 2 ways in which we can possibly organize this work. And here is the list of activities. Okay, so we will start from the notice to proceed activity. NTP is the short for notice to proceed. So it is just a notice. It is actually not an activity. It is it serves as a starting milestone. Okay, so that's why it has no duration. It has no immediately preceding activity. IPA is called as the immediately preceding activity. Any activity which is immediately coming before that. So immediately preceding activity. This column shows the relationship type. Okay, relationship type. And this column shows the lag in the number of days. And this column shows the responsibility, who is responsible, whether general contractor is responsible or any of their other subcontractors are responsible. And this column shows the area of the project to which this activity is pertaining. So for example, clear and grubbing, mobilization, this is generally for the whole project. Okay, but first floor plumbing is only for the first floor plumbing. Okay, and that is being performed by PLMX. That means this is the abbreviation for the plumbing expert. Okay, so this type of data, of course, how to collect this data, this type of data will have to be collected before the start of any scheduling activity. Well, at the minimum, you should have the duration, you should have the information. One minute. At the minimum, you should have the information about the activity name or description, the duration of that activity, and immediately preceding activities. And of course, maybe relationship type and lags, etc. So some minimum amount of information, which may be in if it is uh, available, only then you can schedule the project. So all this information has been provided to you in this case. So you can see that activities for the identification purpose have their activity ID. So you will input this information 1000, that is the activity ID for this notice to proceed activity. Okay, and similarly you will put 1010 for the mobilization activity. That means it will take like 3 days to mobilize on the site. That means bring the equipment on the site, set up the maybe the site office. So that means settling down everything. So you need 3 days on the site. And then this mobilization activity can only take place when the notice to proceed has been issued. Okay, that means the owner or the client says that, okay, you can go ahead and start work. So that is the notice to proceed. So when the notice to proceed has been issued, then you can mobilize the work. So after you have mobilized on the site, okay, that is the general contractor, then clearing and grubbing work can be started. So that means with the site needs to be cleared of the unnecessary things. If there are some old structures on the site, the old structures have to be removed, and the site should be clear for the construction. So that is called as the clear and grub activity. So the clear and grub activity will follow the mobilization activity. So will follow the mobilization activity. How you can find it? Because clear and grub has a immediately preceding activity as 1010, and 1010 is for the mobilization. So in this way, the process will go on. Okay. However, for this excavation activity, you can see over here. Can you see it?
Yes.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes. So how for this excavation activity, it has been said that it will take 7 days to complete 1030, and its immediately preceding activity is 1020. Okay, 1020 is clear and grub activity, which means that but with that, I think here it has been also showed that the relationship type with the clear and grub is start to start, which means that it is not finished to start relationship. So remember that the relationship type, if it is not mentioned, then that means it is the finish to start relationship. But the for this, if it is mentioned over here, it is start to start. So which means that excavation can be started 4 days, at least 4 days after the start of clear and grub. That means once you start clear and grub, 4 days after the start of clear and grub, you can start the excavation. So, and where is this 4 days come? 4 days is from the lag. So the lag means that is once the clear and grub start, you can wait for 4 days, and after that you can start the excavation. Okay, and that will continue for 7 days. So in this case, once the excavation starts, it will continue for 7 days, and then it will complete. So for the relationship between clear and grub and the excavation, the start to start relationship. It's not the finish to finish relationship. And that relationship is given by this. For example, excavation 1020 is for clear and grub, and the relationship type is start to start. Similarly, over here, for the foundation over here, there are 2 relationships mentioned, start to start and finish to finish. So what does it mean? So foundation work can be started when which activity can be started? Can you tell me?
Excavation.
Yes. So foundation can be started when excavation has already been started for 3 days. Okay. So after the start of the excavation, you can start the foundation work. Okay. And for the finish to finish, it is also with the excavation. So foundation work activity can be finished not earlier than 1 day before the finish of the excavation activity. So for example, excavation activity finishes on Thursday. So the foundation then cannot finish earlier than Friday. Okay, there will be finish to finish, and then 1 day of the lag is available. Okay, so foundation has two relationships: start to start and the finish to finish relationship. Okay, so this is called as the combination relationship. That means foundation has been connected with the excavation relationship, not only by the start to start, but also by the finish to finish relationship with 1030, 1030.
I have a question. Can excavation be finished before the foundation?
Excavation, of course, will be finished foundation before foundation, but foundation cannot finish before excavation.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Professor, I have a question. When we have like relation type, like start to start or finish to finish in one activity, I think we should like note which type of activity, like contiguous or interruptible. Yes.
Yes. For the contiguous and interruptible, we can decide on the activity to activity basis. But for this assignment or for this project, I will say that you consider all the activities as contiguous. Okay, so do not consider the splitting of the non-contiguous activities.
Okay.
Yeah, so by the contiguous activity, the meaning is that once this excavation has started, you will work continuously for the duration of the activity. There will be no stopping in between the activities. Okay, although this stopping and then starting of the activity can be done, but for this, I think we will have to do it manually into the project, and that will complicate the issue. So for simplification as of now, because we are just starting to learn it, it is better to assume as contiguously. Okay, so here I wanted to emphasize one point. You can see that the foundation has been connected with the excavation with the start to start and finish to finish activities. Okay, so we can represent this type of relationship into the Primavera P6 project. That means between two activities, they are connected with the start to start and the finish to finish activities. This type of relationship can be is called as the combination relationship. Combination relationship can be represented in the Primavera P6. But if you will use the Microsoft project, which I do not recommend to use in this case, you will not be able to select both relationships at the same time. Okay, you will only have to select one of those relationships. So therefore, you cannot apply this type of logic into the Microsoft project. Okay, so you can check it later on in both software. So that's why I recommend you to use the Primavera P6, because it allows the use of combination relationships. That is, you can apply both the start to start and finish to finish at the same time on a pair of activities. But a project allows either the start to start or finish to finish. Okay, so then I think this will not be a good situation.
Professor, why do we need finish to finish relationship here? I mean, the duration of foundation is higher. Anyway, it's higher than
because if you think that we can foundation, you can only complete when there is an excavation. If there is no excavation, then foundation can be completed. So so that we put this 1 day of the lag only because at least 1 day worth of space is available for the foundation, in which we can so that space can be provided only when the excavation has been completed. Otherwise, if you will put that excavation is completing now and at the same time within no period foundation is completed, that is not possible. So for the foundation, there should be some space which is provided by the excavation, and that space can be so for providing that space, we need at least 1 day, which is the minimum time unit in this project. Okay.
no, I mean Why?
That's why we put 1 day of the lag. If there is no 1 day of the lag, then for finishing of the foundation, we will have no space to provide the foundation, right?
So I mean, just like, why do we need at all for finish to finish? It will be, I mean, anyway, it will be later than the finish of the excavation because it has a start to start relationship, isn't it? I mean, excavation duration of excavation is 7 days. I mean,
yes,
and
you can say
then
that. Yeah,
Mhm.
you can say anyways, it will be foundation will be at the start to start, but it should also be represented on the paper. Okay, in practically speaking, on the site, foundation will be always constructed when the excavation is completed. But your paper on your schedule, it will not be shown like this if you will not put the finish to finish relationship. Okay. So it will only show that it may on the finish to finish, it may even show that the foundation will be completing before the excavation, which is not possible. So therefore, to ensure that your foundation finishes always after the excavation, which is the reality, so we have to put the finish to finish relationship. Okay.
So on
So
paper
Professor,
will not affect, yep. I mean,
Yes. Yeah, if you will not put the finish to finish relationship, then there may be a chance that your foundation may even finish before the excavation. So suppose for example over here, if the duration of the activity excavation is say instead of 7 is 17 days, and the foundation is just like 10 days, right? So if you
I got it. Mhm.
yeah, then foundation will finish excavation, which is not physically possible. To ensure that we represent the reality, therefore we need to put this finish to finish on the paper. Okay, so this goes on like that. Yeah, for this for second floor suspended floor slab, yeah, I think there are 3 finish to start relationships. Okay, this one has the 3 preceding immediately preceding activities. So 1080, 1090, 1100. And for second floor plumbing roughing, yeah, there are start to start and finish to finish relationship. But here it is mentioned that there is a negative lag. Okay, so why is it a negative lag? It is with the 1100. So which means that what is 110? Second floor suspended slab or second floor plumbing roughing. Okay, yeah, okay, is correct. So here we want that the second floor suspended slab, okay, over here work, although this and then the second floor plumbing roughing, okay, suspended slab and the plumbing rough. So we want that the plumbing roughing work to finish earlier than the suspended slab. So that's why we put a negative slab negative over here, because yeah, plumbing roughing have to be completed first, and then this the second floor suspended slab work to be completed. So this is why we have put a negative slab, negative lag over here. Okay, so negative lag over here means that if, for example, the second floor suspended slab work completes on say Thursday, so the plumbing roughing work should finish before Thursday. That means on Wednesday, it should complete it at -1 lag. So the lag can be a positive and the lag can be negative as well. Okay, so positive means lag means the work will start after, okay, or finish after, or the negative lag means the work will finish earlier. Okay, so both types of lags can be put. So in this case, if you want to put the negative lag, so you will simply put the -1 into the software.
But
Professor,
when should
what does mean exponent? The power of e, like -1 power.
Yeah, it's not exponent. It is just for the explanation. So for the footnote. these are the shortening for the footnotes. So what is the meaning of EA for the explanation? So therefore, E over here is the negative lag. It means that the second floor plumbing roughing must finish 1 day before the completion of the second floor slab. Note also that the start of this activity lags 1 day behind this start of the slab activity. Does this make the plumbing activity completely contained within the slab activity? Okay.
Sorry, Prof. So, when should we? Can you please show the above again?
Yes. Yes.
So, for instance, if the yep. So, for instance, if the suspended slab should be, for instance, started for the first day, yeah, and then it should be finished in the 8th day. So in the so plumbing roof in should be started in the 2nd day, but the duration is 3 days, and it will be finished in the 4th day. But it is not 1 day before the finishing of the suspended slab, because there is the
Yes.
so when in which time should we
Okay.
put?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I answer you in a minute. Yeah, okay, I understand your question. Yeah, so it is not, these dates are not the exact dates. So one means that not earlier, not later than 1 day, okay? So, so if it is, for example, 8 days, it takes 8 days to complete, and it starts after 1 day. So that means, for example, second floor slab starts on this second floor suspended slab starts on Monday. Okay, then plumbing roughing can start on Tuesday or after. Okay, so these types of finish to start, start to start, or finish to finish relationships, they do not say that exactly when you start. That means not after, not before. So these relationships are like you can start on or after, or you can finish on or before. Okay, so these just provides you the ranges. So in that case, for example, if this plumbing roughing starts on Tuesday, so then it will continue for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So it will finish on Thursday. So in that case, it will still be more than 1 day before. So but that doesn't mean that it exactly have to be at 1 day. So there is no exact. It will mean that 1 day before the finish of this second floor suspended slab or more. Okay, 1 day or more, something like this meaning.
So the start relationship with the positive sign means that we should start it on or after the 1 day.
Yeah, 1 day or after.
But
Yeah,
finish to finish with the negative sign means that we have to finish on or before the 1 day.
Yes, 1 day before,
finish to finish,
1 day or before. Yeah.
But finish to finish with the positive sign means that we have to finish on or after.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Although it seems to be a little bit complicated, but we have to do like this to completely represent the logic. Okay, so this was the case, and anything. So these exponents are just the explanations of this in the in the footnotes. Okay. So I think it goes like this. Okay, so this is the
Professor, there was one activities which didn't have like duration.
Okay, show me where.
It's a little bit up. Yeah, it's here. Building dry in.
Building dry in.
1250.
Yes, build. Yeah, this does. This is not an activity. This is a milestone. So in the scheduling software, in both P6 or project, Microsoft project, we can represent the milestone inside of the lists of the activities. So building dry in just it's just a milestone. That means now we say that the dry in of the activity has been completed. So that's why it has no duration. So the milestones have no duration.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Then I think, yeah, here it has been mentioned as well. Make this activity as a finish milestone. Primavera P6 has some different milestones. So some of the milestones are the start milestones. Some of the milestones have the finished milestones. Okay. So we can represent it like that. Okay, so that was it. So after inputting this information into the project, so what we have to do is you have to create the project and select the name of the project. You can put any name, maybe your group number or whatever the name you choose. Enter the start date as I have already mentioned. Enter the non-work days in the calendar. So you have to set up the calendar for the non-work days. So for example, the holidays on 16th or 17th of December, on 2nd of December holiday, 1st of January is a holiday, or 7th of January, maybe depending on the calendar is the holiday, 8th of March is a holiday. So these holidays you will include, supposing that you are using the Kazakhstani calendar. But if you are using the calendar for some other country, then you can use their holidays for the respective days. Okay, enter all the activities listed in the preceding table along with the information, duration, relations, lags, responsibility, and the area. Schedule the project. Make sure there are no errors. Check all dates. Okay. Determine the calculated finish date. So you will note down what is the finish date of the project. Okay. That means you will not provide any finish date to the project. You will input the information and let the project calculate the finish date. And then in the end, they will make one adjustment about the site work. Okay. Because generally you can see that the site work should not be completed until the work is completed. Okay. So therefore you should provide an appropriate constraint on the site work. Okay. So site work should not complete before something like that, some constraint. So you will think about it, what type of constraint you can provide in this work. Well, here you can see that there are the in the scheduling software, not only in Primavera P6 but also in Microsoft project, especially in Primavera P6, you can provide different types of constraints. So some of the constraints are very specific. Some of the constraints have some liberty or freedom over here. So for example, a constraint of starting not earlier than this date, or a constraint of starting finishing not later than this date. So as late as possible, as early as possible, something like this. These types of constraints activities are there. So if for this site work, you have to choose an appropriate constraint for that activity. The site work is an activity in this project. Okay, so you will see one of that activity. So after this, you will schedule the project again, and then you will print these following reports. So in this file, the reports which you will produce, I have highlighted them in the yellow. So you can see that I have highlighted this area. So it means that you will perform and report, you will present these outputs. So for example, one of the output is scheduling report. Okay, record the expected finish date for the use in the next assignment. The meaning of assignment over here is that it is not your assignment for the course. It is the assignment of your for this project. Okay. Okay, so I have used this word assignment over here, but the meaning is not the assignment of your course. It is the assignment of this project. Okay. So these different types of reports you will prepare it. Okay, so you can look at these different types of report, and then you can move to the next part, so which is about the cost loading part. So remember that up to now we have only entered the duration of the activities and their logical relationships. That means predecessor relationships. We have not entered any cost data into the project. For entering the cost data into the project, we have this information. Okay, so that is called as the cost loading. So this is the next part. So in this exercise, the general contractor is cost loading the schedule, but will follow two approaches. So for self-performed activities, the general contractor will resource load them. That is, assign the proper amount of labor and equipment, plus add the cost of materials, if any. So for subcontracted activities, the general contractor will add only the cost of these activities with no resource loading. Okay, what is the meaning of that? So here we have this cost information. Okay, so for some of the activities in which the general contractor is doing the work. So for those activities, so for example, notice to proceed, mobilization, clear and grab, excavation, the general contractor is adding this information: 3 laborers, 1 foreman, 1 excavator. For clear and grab, we need 4 laborers, 1 foreman, 1 number 2 excavator. So here you can see that we have the type of resources which are being used in this project by the general contractor: labor, foreman, carpenter. Okay, and excavator. Excavator is a machinery, so is an equipment resource. Labor, foreman, and carpenter are the 3 human resources. And for some of the other resources, then we have only the cost data available. So for example, mobilization, clear and grab, excavation, foundation, full compact, treat and oil, full compact and treat oil, we have the information for the labor, foreman, carpenter, and the excavator resources. So these are the activities which are being performed by the general contractor mainly. And for some of those activities, we have these labor resource and excavator, and some an additional cost is available, that is the material cost for this. Okay. So that means for the mobilization, we need 3 laborers, 1 foreman, and 1 excavator. And in addition, we need a $2,000 cost to provide as a material cost for this activity. So similarly, for clear and grab, we need 4 laborers, 1 foreman, but 2 excavators. But this activity does not require any material cost in this case. Here for this first floor plumbing rough-in activity, we don't have any labor, foreman, carpenter, and the excavator information available over here because this activity was subcontracted to the plumbing subcontractor. Okay, so for this plumbing subcontractor, the general contractor has the agreement to provide to this subcontractor a $2,500. So therefore, only the cost information has been available over here. Okay, so in this way, then you will then add all the information. So where the information for the laborer, foreman, and the excavator is available, you will enter that information. Where that information is not available, then you will only enter the cost information, because most likely these activities will only be performed by the subcontractors. Okay, so did you understand this point? Do you have any questions?
Yeah,
yes.
Is this project for the whole group or individual?
Yeah, you will work in your groups. Yes, this is a
Oh,
group project. Yeah, it is a group project. So every group will do their work. Okay. But of course, you will be using the same data, but do not copy the data from each other. So do your own work. So, but in the groups. Okay. So in this way, then you can see that you will enter in this information and then you will prepare the reports. So in this report will include the cost data and then the total cost of the project as well. Okay, so this is the one. So we are only, yeah, here we don't are using any labor rate over here. So we may even no need to provide these labor rates over here. Anyway, we can even provide it, but in this assignment, I'm not asking you to do that. Labor rates. That means the wages to the labor or the rental or usage rate for the machinery. Okay, so the third part of the project is this updating the project. Okay, so for you will receive some information on some data date. So for example, if you remember that the project started on 2nd of August 2021. But if you will you will have a data date, 2nd of September 2021, and then you will receive this information that some of the activities have started, some of the activities have completed, and some of the activities have a changed duration. So based on this change information, you will update the project and then prepare the reports. Okay. So in this way, I have just explained to you this assignment. So therefore, you can see that this is a group project. So you will submit this assignment 4 weeks later. Okay. And in addition, I have for the software, I have input some of these tutorials. So first tutorial is tells you that how you can download and install the Primavera P6. Okay. So it is the tutorial for downloading and installation of P6 software. So you will have to go to this website, edelivery.oracle.com, and then you will need to create your login with that. Okay. So you will register it, and then you will go into their system, into the platform. Well, after I think that you can start from edelivery.oracle.com and then follow the instructions given over here. This interface which you will see over here will be different than the one which you will get now. The reason is because I prepared this file several years ago. So later on, then the Oracle have changed the design of this website. But anyway, you will start from this edelivery.oracle.com. And the thing is that you will choose your platform, which should be a Windows platform. So if you have the Mac computers, this will not work. I think, unfortunately, for the Primavera P6 applications, they do not have any Mac version. So you have to install this software on your Windows computers. Okay. So at that time, when I prepared this tutorial, I had only 32-bit systems. But nowadays, most of the systems are 64-bit systems. So you will choose this Microsoft Windows 64-bit option over here. Okay. And at that time, I was using the Windows 7. Okay. But now we have Windows 10. So after you will do it, then you will get many options. In that case, I was I think somewhere in the 2011. I think the current version is Primavera P6 19 or maybe 20. I think. Primavera P6 version 19 is probably the current version now. Okay, so you can download that version. So maybe I can try it. So for example, e-delivery. Yeah, if I go to that website over here, or in another word, I think you can also search in that YouTube. Okay, so for example, P6 downloading. Okay, download. Okay. So how to download and install Primavera P6? So there are several videos over here. So which shows you how to download and install the Primavera P6. Okay. So in this way, and you can download and install it. So this installation of the Primavera P6 is downloading and installation of the Primavera P6 is a legal version. It is a legal version. In its terms and condition, it says that it is a trial version for 30 days. But you should not worry. It is actually not for 30 days. Even after the 30 days, it is still working. So if, for example, if I open my computer, so P6 professional. So you remember that you will for P6 has if you will go to that website, P6 will have different versions. One something will be Primavera Enterprise, some will be Primavera something else. What you will install will be the Primavera P6. P6 professional. Okay, there should be the word of the professional in that case. Professional standalone. Okay, that version you will install. So I have already installed it for several years already, and that it is still working. Although when I downloaded it, it said only that it is for 30 days, but it's still working. So you can legally download and work on it. So after this, it asks for the username and the password, and then the program will start. So when the program starts, it gives you some warning that the appropriate industry for your organization has not been set, scheduled. So just ignore that warning and then click OK. You can even set it later on. So when you open this software, then you have this kind of window. Okay. So it has the menu options: file, edit, view, project, enterprise, tools, admin, and help. So it has different menus. So if I go to the project, enterprise project, so it will, when you will first time open it, I think it will open in like this kind of window. So it already provides you some very inbuilt sample projects over here. That means some of the sample products. So you can for your case, you can even look at some of these projects. So for example, one of that project is over here. If you please click over here, it is called the City Center Office Building Project. So if I double click over here to open it, then you can open this project. So maybe I can just click, and to open this project, you will have to do this. But remember that, okay, one more thing. When you open this Microsoft project for the first time, you'll see this window, and you can see that it gives you a kind of structure in the structure of that means some sort of arrangements. Some of the projects have been already arranged. So you can start the new project, or you can, for your understanding, you can also look at some of these different projects as well. So Microsoft, this Primavera P6 uses some enterprise structure, which is a combination of different projects. So for example, in this case, in this enterprise structure, the project IDs have been given, project name, their total activities, their strategic priorities have been given. So in this case, if you want to see some projects, for example, I want to see a project in the engineering and construction activity. So I will click this plus sign over here. And in the engineering and construction, if I want to see this, okay, maybe a city center office building project. So then I will click on that, and then I will click in the project menu, and then I will hit activities. So here, it will open this tutorial project. And then if I go to that project, then maybe if I want to open this one, then I right click it, and then, yeah, if you will right click it, and then I will click the open project. Okay. And in this way, then it will open this project. So you can see that in the Primavera P6, so you will have different windows. So for this city center office building project, so it has its structure, enterprise structure, which has been shown over here with the activity names, original duration, early start, early finish, and yeah, late start, late finish, total float, free float. So all of this information has been available over here. So the project which you will build will be similar to that. Okay, it will be similar to that. On the right hand side, you will see this a Gantt chart for the project. Okay, you will see the Gantt chart of the project as well. So you will create the project similar to this. Okay. So now, in addition, of course, you can say that I have some of the tutorials as well. So tutorial to create the project. Okay. Then tutorial to organize the project. And the tutorial to some of the hints for doing the exercises in this project. And then the how to assign the resources into the project, that is the cost loading also, which also includes the cost loading. And then there's a tutorial about the project updating. So remember that if the file which I have just explained to you have all this information. So first you create the project. Okay. Then you do the cost loading, and then you do the updating of the project. So every information is available over here. So for example, if you click the create the project tutorial and you open it, so this was the tutorial which I prepared several years ago. So you can follow these instructions to create the project. Okay, how to set up the activities and how to set up the calendar. So this type of information is available over here. So you just need to follow these instructions to create, to do your project assignment. Okay. So this project assignment is, let me go back to the course specification document. Yeah, this is the course specification document. So in this course specification document, you can see that, where is this? Yeah. So the project will be 20%. Okay. So I think in the project, if you want to this, yeah, there, I plan to also give you some, maybe ask you to do some presentation like that, where I will ask some questions, or I will ask you to perform some activities live for me, okay, later on. So your project assessment will not only be based on the report which you will submit, but some of the live demonstration on the software as well. Okay. So, or maybe some presentation as well. So later on there will be, I will announce that one as well. But as of now, I have just included like 4 weeks time for you to prepare those reports and submit it. Okay, then there is a there is this midterm exam. I think midterm exam I plan to take now after the fall break, the week after the fall break. Okay. Do you understand?
Yes,
So
yes.
the mid, yeah. So the here we have this is the, yeah. Actually, I put it in the 7th week, but now I will put it, move it to the 8th week. Okay. So the now what we have over here is we are now into this week. So now there will be next week, and after that there will be fall break. So your midterm. So today is Tuesday. Then that is the fall break, and then I think your midterm exam should be on 12th or 14th of October. Okay, it will be either 12th or 14th of October. That will be your midterm exam. Got it?
So 10th week, right?
10th week? No, it will be. Oh, okay. No, it is. It is not the 10th week.
Okay.
It will be from the teaching point of view. It will be the 8th week. We have 14-week teaching. It will be. So,
Yeah, from teaching point, it is 8th week, right?
So the teaching week is the 8th week. So that will be your. So that is it. Do you have any questions? So coming back to the topic which we were discussing, that is the bidding procedure. Okay. Where did we finish it? Bidding procedure. The bidding process. Yeah, I think we finished the bidding preparation. Then there is this bidding procedure. Okay, so well, any questions up to now for the assignment and the Primavera P6?
No questions.
Okay. 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 So for the bidding procedure, the principal steps in the bidding procedure for a fixed price construction contract include solicitation, bid preparation, bid submission, bid opening, selection of the lowest qualified bid, and the contract award. So these are these different steps. Okay. Did we cover this point last time? Okay. The solicitation may range from an invitation sent to a selected few contractors to public advertisement. So the meaning of solicitation is an invitation for the bidding. So invitation can be to some selected contractors, or invitation can be to the can be through public advertisement, where potentially everyone can bid for the contractors. But of course, we don't want everyone, in most of the situations, we don't want everyone to bid for the project. So therefore, in the solicitation process, some criteria is actually set up. Only those people who will meet those criteria may be able to bid for the projects in most cases. And also as a separate criteria, then we only invite bids privately to some selected few from selected few contractors. So to ensure adequate competition, at least 3 bids should be obtained. And I think we covered this point last time. And the contractors indicating an interest in bidding should be supplied with at least 1 complete set of contract documents. And a deposit may be required to ensure the return of the project plans and specifications furnished to the unsuccessful bidders. And I think we covered this point last time. The time allowed for the bid preparation should be based on the size and complexity of the project. 3 weeks has been suggested as the reasonable minimum time. So I'm going quickly over here as I covered it last time. So the Associated General Contractors of America, in cooperation with other professional organizations, has developed recommended bidding procedures for both building construction and engineered constructions. which are designed to ensure fairness to both contractors and owners. So therefore, here it is worth mentioning that the Associated General Contractors of America is a very big organization, and the forms and procedures which they have input on their websites, they are very useful. And many companies over the world, they try to follow these forms and procedures. So that's why it is worth mentioning over here in this course as well. The recommendations are the use of standard bid proposal forms specifying the order of the selection of alternates, and suggested minimum times to be allowed for the bid preparation. So these types of procedures, depending on the different types of the project and the conditions, specify the needed information for the bid preparation, and and they also provide the templates for the bid proposal forms and how to select the different alternatives in the bidding procedure for your bidding works. Alternates are optional items beyond the basic scope. Okay, so here we have used the term which is called as the alternates. So these are actually the optional items beyond the basic project scope. That means some of the things the client wants from the contractor, but there may be some other items which are beyond the scope of the project works. So those items are called as the alternates. So since alternates may or may not be selected by the owner, that means if the prospective bidder provides the some alternates to the owner, so the owner may select those alternates, or they may not select those alternates. And their order of selection will affect the determination of the lowest bid price. And the bid openings are frequently open to the public, and in such cases, bid prices are announced and the bids are opened. Yeah, generally for the public works, the bid openings are frequently open to the public, because it is because those projects will be conducted from the money collected from the taxes of the people. So therefore, generally those bids are open to the public, and therefore, in such cases, different bid prices are announced as the bids are open. So, for example, if 3 bidders have submitted the bids, so bid prices of all the 3 bidders will be announced to the public. So that was about the bidding procedure. So once the bidding procedure is completed, then the time is for awarding the contract. That means if we have to award the contract to the successful bidders. So in this case, in the most the simplest or the most obvious of the cases is to determine the lowest qualified bidder. Okay, so the qualification of a contractor is the determination that the contractor possesses both the technical and financial ability to perform the work required by the contract. So, so thing is that the bidder should be qualified. That means it has the qualities, or it has the capacity to perform the work, both in terms of the technical and the financial point of view. And the bid for that qualified bidder should be also the lowest among all the other qualified bidders. So this is the main, this is the obvious main criteria for the contract award. Another in the qualification purposes, of course, it is not that easy to determine that at the time of the bidding, the bidder will be is qualified or not. So a process which is called as the pre-qualification is adopted. Under this procedure, only those contractors determined to be capable of performing are invited to submit the bids for the project. Okay, so that means before performing the bidders, the various big clients such as the government organizations, they establish some kind of process by which they ask the different potential bidders to submit their capability documents. Based on those capability documents, they pre-qualify them for submitting the bids. So some of them, some of the capable one, they are pre-qualified, but some they cannot be qualified to that. So those contractors or those bidders who are pre-qualified, who have the capacity to take those kinds of work, they are called the pre-qualified bidders. And for future projects, only those pre-qualified bidders are also are able to bid for the job. So in this way, the big clients then save their time and energy, and then they ensure that only the capable bidders are bidding for their project. So that is called as the pre-qualification. So under this procedure, only those contractors determined to be capable of performing the are invited to submit the bids for the project. A more common, although indirect method of pre-qualification is to require bonding of the contract. So in lieu of, instead of pre-qualification, there is another arrangement which is called as the bonding of the contract. Bonding means that the contractor provides a kind of a warranty through some financial institution or some other agency that assures the client that this contractor will perform the work. If the contractor will not perform the work, then that financial institution or some organization will pay to the client the compensation if the contractor fails to do that work. So that is called as that is the concept behind the bonding of the contractor. So the bonds used in the contractor include bid bonds, performance bonds, and payment bonds. So three types of bonds are very common in the construction: bid bonds, performance bonds, and the payments bond. And the purpose of these bonds is also related to, as their name suggests. So the bid bonds are for the bidding, and the performance bond are related to the performance, and similarly for the payment bonds. So a bid bond guarantees that a contractor will provide the required performance and payment bonds if awarded the contract. So bid bonds is just a bond for another two types of bonds. Okay, so a bid bond says that, okay, the contractor will bid for the project, but maybe the contractor is not very pre-qualified, but the contractor is able to provide a bid bond, and that bid bond will ensure that the contractor will provide later on the bonds for their performance and the payments if awarded the contract. And what is the performance bond and the payment bond? That is over here. A performance bond guarantees the completion of the project as described in the contract documents. So remember that from where these bonds are obtained, so a contractor can obtain those bonds from some financial institutions, such as the banks or some other monetary organizations. They can use them insurance, because those monetary organizations may have their financial information, they have their other other assurances from the contractor, which the original client may not have from the contractor. So therefore, on the authority or on the guarantee of the financial institutions, then the client can believe on the authenticity of those bonds. So therefore, the main purpose for these bonds is that it is to ensure that the contractor will perform on those projects. The payment bond guarantees that the payments of subcontractors, laborers, and suppliers by the contractor will be also ensured. So of course, the payment bond is not for the client. Payment bond, if the contractor has the payment bond, and then the client can ensure that the contractor has the payment bond, then it will mean that the contractor who has to actually pay to their subcontractors, suppliers, and the laborers. So it will also provide the assurance to the suppliers, laborers, and the contractors that the contractor will be able to pay to them. So The contractor in this case is in a very tight situation. The contractor not only have to provide the bid bond, the performance bond, and also to the payment bond. So the contractor is given a burden that he or she or they have to complete the project on time, but also they have to provide the payments in a timely manner to their subcontractors, laborers, and the suppliers by virtue of these different types of bonds: bid bond, performance bond, and the payment bond. And that is, of course, if they are also pre-qualified, then of course this is also good for the contractor. So after identifying the lowest responsible, that is one from a qualified bidder, and responsive, that is the complying with the bid requirements bid, the winning bidder is notified by a letter of acceptance or a notice of the award. So after doing all these procedures, that is the pre-qualification, the determining of the bidding price, and determining that the contractor has the required bonds, then the client is free to announce the winning bidder. Okay, and that announcement of the winning bidder can be provided by the letter of the acceptance or the notice of the award to the contractor. And this document brings into force the actual construction contract between the owner and the contractor. So once the bid is awarded, then comes the role of the construction contract. Okay, then the construction contract takes place between the contractor and the client. Okay, so later on we will look at the construction contracts as well, and then before looking at the construction contract, there will be some discussion about the role of the subcontractors as well. Okay, so actually the time has been completed, but that's fine with me, no problem. We still can continue this topic in the next week. So do you have any question? So now we are at the subcontracts. Okay, so we will continue from after that.